Tres Motsepe.
Merci. Oh, merci, merci. Merci, madame. Okay.
Hello?
It's easy for you to take this so that you don't have to have something in hand.
Okay. This one is on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to start. Let me start.
Excuse me? Can you please move out of the shot, please? All
right. Thank you.
Okay, President, please, you have the floor, please, President.
Thank you so much, Lax. I want to start by expressing my deep appreciation and gratitude to all of you for joining us in this beautiful country, a country that has got a very proud football history. And I also want to express on behalf of the leadership of football our deep appreciation, as well as my personal deep appreciation to our brother, the president of the Algerian football. Oh, merci. Yeah. President Jaid, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the hospitality and for the wonderful work. And we ask you to thank our people, all of the people of this beautiful country, Algeria, as well as the head of state and the government. Thank you so much. We are excited about the upcoming CHAN competition in January, and we are confident that it will showcase the best football players from the African continent. I was at the European Clubs Association in Istanbul last week, and many of the presidents and the chairman of the biggest football clubs in the world said to me, we're coming to Algiers, we're coming to Algeria to watch the best of football that is based on the continent. Two other issues is, I also want to thank all of the other countries that have been very supportive. Egypt, Morocco, and many, many other countries that have really been supportive of football. Angola, Cameroon, Senegal, Tunisia, Ghana, Uganda. Thank you so much for the governments and for the people who've supported CAF, as well as to thank each and every country, every one of the 54 African countries. We're very proud of the leadership, the football development. And one of the things we announced today is the prize money for the schools, African Schools Football Championship. And we were debating about the prize money, but we're happy that, and the General Secretary has done excellent work concerning I assume you all have your translations, eh? So if you don't have a translation, just ask, they will help you, okay? Give you the translation. So I want to thank the General Secretary for the wonderful work he's done in the schools football, but also for the wonderful work that he's done in the office. And thank my first Vice President, Augustine Senghor, second Vice President, Yaya, my third Vice President, Waberi, as well as my fourth Vice President, Seido, and our very special leader, Madame Kanisa, for your leadership, for your guidance, for your advice. It's a privilege for me to have this quality of leadership here. We took certain decisions today that I wanted to tell you, and you will have seen yesterday I was in Guinea. I had a meeting with the President of Guinea, with the Prime Minister, with the Minister of Sports. And there were two reasons why I went to Guinea, and of course we had a press conference as well. And the first reason was to express the commitment, the support of me personally as President, my Vice Presidents, the EXCO, and CAF to the development and growth of football in Guinea. And we will work with them for the long term. And the president was telling me about the contracts, the stadiums that are being built, which is very good, and we encourage that. The other important issue was for me to discuss, as well as to brief the president on the decision that we took as CAF. And this is in line with the commitment that African football must be world-class. The quality, the infrastructure, the competitions must be amongst the best in the world. And I know that there's some good work that has been done, but Guinea is not ready. And the report back I got from the committees that we had established to go and look at Guinea, Guinea is not ready to host the CAN or the AFCON in 2025, and part of the reason I went was to tell them that a decision has been taken to withdraw the AFCON 2025, Total Energies AFCON or Total Energies CAN from Guinea, and we are going to open the bid, and today we took a decision to open, so we are welcoming all of those countries. We should have done this quite some time ago, and this is part of the professionalism. These decisions have to be taken long in advance, and that's fine, because there was a commitment that they would work very hard. So we are welcoming, I know there's about 10 countries, and some have got consortiums that have come together to host the AFCON 2025, and I encourage every one of the countries, and we'll send out a team to go and look. But what I must overemphasize is we're very proud of what we did in Cameroon, despite the challenges, and there were challenges and there were problems. And also one of the big problems was the accident we had there, when the police they were watching football instead of doing the work as they were supposed to. But I'm happy for the cooperation I received from the president of Cameroon and the people of Cameroon. But what I want to emphasize is all of the competitions of CAF in future is going to be held in world-class stadiums with world-class facilities for the media, for the supporters, for the fans, accommodation, proper, good accommodation, football pitches, quality stadiums, world-class partnerships that we have and that we are excited with the broadcasters. So we have to be as good as the best in the world. I'm very pleased and I'm excited with what the quality of competitions of FIFA, of UEFA, CONCACAF, and various other confederations. And we are clear in our mind, Africa must be as good as the best in the world. So some of the issues, and another exciting thing is talking about the schools football, because one of the best investments we can make is in schools football. This country has got a proud, proud football history and has produced some of the best football players, not just in Africa and in the world. And the same can be said of all of the 54 African nations. So we announced, I think sometime last year, the $10 million that the Motsepe Foundation is donating to schools football. And today a decision was taken to allocate $4 million in year one as prize money. The prize money is supposed to be used to build football infrastructure, but also for education, libraries, laboratories, IT centers, computer centers at the schools, and various other infrastructure that the schools may need. And I'm excited because the winning school, the girls' competition in the African schools football will get the same prize money as the boys. So at the continental level at this stage, the best football school in Africa will get 300,000, the boys will get 300,000, The girls that win will get 300,000. Number 2 will get 200,000. I wanted to make it 500,000 because I want to make it, you know, just like all the competitions in CAF. I want them to be, I want the prize money to be very, very high. But I was told, wait a bit, let's start at 300,000 and then see how it goes. And then the second prize, as I said, 200,000. The boys will get the same money as the girls do, the same prize money. It's part of our commitment to equality. We are not talking about equality, we are showing it and we are implementing it. And the third prize at the national level will get 100,000. And then the winner of each of the zones, the 6 zones, will get 100,000. So the third prize is 150,000. So the winners of the zones will get 100,000. The girls and the boys in each of the 6 zones, and the second prize will get 75, and the third prize will get 50. So the total amount for year 1 in prize money is 4 million. And we also spoke about the Super League, very excited about the Super League, and good progress. We won the Super League. The Super League will start next year. Excellent discussion with broadcasters, with sponsors, with partnerships, and a lot of good work is being done, and we are very optimistic. And then, of course, we are all going to Qatar. We are very clear that part of our objective is to make sure that an African nation wins the World Cup. An African nation, and we're confident. It won't happen overnight. It's a medium to long-term strategy, but we've got to do all the right things. If Croatia, with such a small population, can be at the finals, Algeria, Senegal, Morocco, Egypt, Ghana, Cameroon, and many, many others can be there. So we are very, very clear that part of our objectives is not just to build African football to be world-class, but one of our big objectives is to make sure that an African nation will compete at the highest level, and including Tunisia, and win the World Cup. So I thought I should raise a few issues, but also allow you to ask questions. We spoke about Côte d'Ivoire, very excited. The AFCON Côte d'Ivoire 2024, big progress, good work, very exciting. Remember, 500 million people watched the AFCON in Cameroon. 180 nations worldwide watched the CAN in Cameroon. The highest number ever. So there's a huge amount. And people wanted to see Sadio Mane compete with Mo Salah at the highest level. Interest in South America, huge. Because they are excited. Of course, Pelé said an African nation will win the World Cup by 2000. I can guarantee, and I'm saying to the president here from Algeria, this country has got special players. And I'm saying the same to my brother from Senegal. Senegal has got special players. And I can say the same thing about Egypt, about Morocco, about Tunisia, and many of the other, Djibouti, the president from Djibouti. I can say the same about the other 51 nations. African football will never be the same again. And the judge of that is the supporters, the ordinary people in Africa and in the world. It's the media. Because, you know, we can say all these wonderful things, but what really matters is the results, is the track record. So we are on that path to build a track record and to get the results, because African nations, they must win on the field of play. And that goes hand in hand with auditing, with governance, with legality, with the professionalism at CAF in Cairo, but also the professionalism and the auditing and the governance and the ethics in every one of the 54 nations in Africa. I think, of course, and then we've got this issue called the referees, which is very important. We've got an agreement with FIFA. African referees must be as best in the world. And there's been problems and complaints, and I can tell you, we're going to fix this, including complaints and allegations about corruption. We are not going to allow African football to be disrespected and to lack credibility, because we are not taking effective steps to make sure that our referees are trained, our referees are ethical, our referees are independent, and there's integrity, and our referees are free from corruption and free from improper rewards and bribery. So it's non-negotiable, absolutely non-negotiable. And that's why there's been changes that have taken place at the CAF office, and I'm very excited that the vice presidents of CAF and the leadership of EXCO, that's an area where we are absolutely clear we will make progress. I think I will leave it at this for now and allow you to ask whatever questions. And once more, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you so much. And we will be back for what we believe will be the best CHAN ever, and create pride in African football. Just introduce yourself, who you are, and then we'll answer, because we've got to finish in the next 10 minutes, okay?
All right. One question. Excuse me? Just one question.
Okay, go ahead.
One
So
question.
if you ask in French, please ask in whatever language, and then we can... Yeah. It's working, eh? Okay, yeah. You can say good evening, it's fine.
Welcome to Algeria first, Mr. Mousseli.
I thought you'd say welcome home.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
So,
All of these 54 countries are home. This is a special country.
So my question, Mr. Mousseli, Algeria will host the CHAN, the next CHAN 2023. Can you say that it is a good exercise for Algeria for hosting the next CHAN 2025 in the future?
I can tell you, there's my brother. I'm encouraging him to bid for CHAN 2025. Because I was also asking him and many other countries, when was the last time you hosted CHAN, AFCON? And what I like is to spread the opportunities. I want to give as many countries as possible, of course, with the right infrastructure. You've got world-class infrastructure, with the right facilities. Because we need the experience of our media, of our people, of the football world, both local, international, to be as good as the experience they have in any other country in Europe. We go to Europe all the time, we go to America, we go to Asia, and we watch football there. So I can tell you, I'm leaving here as a president of CAF with a clear encouragement to Algeria. And I think there were 15 other nations that said they also want to host, and I'm encouraging them as well. Algeria has a proud football history, and all of us in Africa are very proud of that. Thank you.
We'll take the next question. Let's go that side.
Bonjour,
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Bonjour, Monsieur le Président. Abdelnon Noueri, Radio France Internationale. Je voudrais vous demander, si vous le voulez bien, de nous tracer quel serait le meilleur profil du pays qui pourrait remplacer la Guinée, et si possible, nous dire quels sont les 10 pays qui sont déjà candidats. Merci.
Thank you. Can you just check again that, where's the expert? Oh, that's fine.
This is English.
Oh, okay, thank you. Now, I can tell you, the independent evaluation committee will look at the bids, and we've got a very good suggestion here in relation to a more refinement of the criteria in relation to what are the expectations, the requirements, the standards that we want every country to fulfill. And let me tell you, many countries in Africa have hosted the CHAN and have done so very successfully. I'm encouraging Senegal as well, in partnership with a few others. I'm encouraging every one of the 54 countries. But I can assure you, we are not going to choose a country that is not at the appropriate level, that fulfills the appropriate standards and criteria. And I've got no doubt now there are many countries in Africa that would really fulfill those criteria and those standards. Okay?
We'll take the next question this side. Let's go this way, Monday. This way, please. Can I just ask the people with the microphone to just be on the media? Excuse me. If you can ask the media officers to take over the microphones quickly.
My question, good morning. My question, since many African countries are having difficulties hosting the CAN with the 24 team, are you considering to back in 16 team competition?
No. I'm going to keep it at 24 because African football is growing, and you know, it's a very good question. And some of the countries have made such good progress in football development over the years that we need to open it up. And as I said, Botswana, Namibia, and Angola are looking at the three of them together. Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda are looking at, or Kenya are looking at themselves as together. I know that there are some discussions taking place in West Africa as well. And let me say this to you: if Guinea, succeeds to have make big progress on stadiums, and they come together, in my view, with you've got a wonderful stadium with Senegal and maybe one other. They would be considered very favorably. But as I said, we are not going to compromise on our criteria, on our standards, and on the levels, the world-class levels that we want all our competitions to be upheld.
Okay, we'll go that way and then we'll come back this way. It's okay. Listen.
مساء الخير. أطرح سؤال للعربية. هني شوية من الإذاعة الجزائرية.
Sorry.
Okay.
Shukran. Wait. Now you said English. Now you must change it. Yeah. The volume is too loud. There's somebody's ear. Can you just reduce the volume then? Is that the volume? Okay, that's one. Okay. How do you say continue in Arabic? Okay, exactly what you're saying. Please proceed.
مرحبا بك مرة أخرى في الجزائر سيد الموسيقي. سؤالي يتعلق بالمنافسة الإفريقية سواء في ما يتعلق ب
Sorry, they've got the French, but they don't have the English. Can you hear? Can you hear? So if you can.
We can do it in English if you want.
No.
Okay.
Arabic is also our language. You must speak Arabic. Okay, let's. Your volume is too loud. Let's try again.
اوكي. مرحبا بك سيد موسيقي مرة أخرى وزيارتك الثانية بعد أكثر من شهرين للجزائر. سؤالي يتعلق بالمنافسة الإفريقية والبلدان الإفريقية التي تحتضن المنافسات الإفريقية، خصوصا خلال السنوات الماضية كان هناك تغيير كثير، سواء تأجيل بعض المنافسات الإفريقية على غرار الكان أو تغيير البلد. هل هناك استراتيجية فعالة من طرف الاتحاد الإفريقي لكرة القدم لتثبيت سواء بالنسبة للبلدان وتثبيت المنافسات حتى لا نصل إلى مشاكل مثل ما وصلنا إليها في الفترة الأخيرة؟
شكرا. Very, very important question. Very important question. And part of being a president, there are times when you must be a father, hug people and be nice. And there are times when you must look at people like you are very angry. They must get the message that we are not going to tolerate that. And there are times when you must really emphasize that there are certain professional expectations that we have to uphold. Now, if there are problems in the other established football confederations in the world. I mean, these are respected, proven football federations, and people will understand that. They'll fix it. We cannot, because we are still developing. The economies of Africa are largely developing economies, so we cannot afford to have the problems that you spoke about, where the games start late, the matches start late, the referees don't arrive in time, the commencement time is not correct, the fixtures are changed. Those sort of things, there is zero tolerance in that regard. And what is more important is for us consistently to build a track record that reflects that indeed, in every respect, we are as professional, as efficient, and as productive as the best in the world. And where we fail, you must tell us, you must identify it, and you must criticize us. And we have to focus on those things and improve them. Please proceed.
Okay, شكرا السيد موتسيبي، مرحبا بك في الجزائر. أنا نبيل البناري من المؤسسة العمومية للتلفزيون الجزائري. عندي سؤال بشقين فيما يخص ترشيحات البلدان التي ستحتضن نهائيات كأس أفريقيا 2025. في سنة 2015 تنافست الجزائر على احتضان كان 2017 مع الجابون، وتم منح الشرف لبلد الجابون. بعد ذلك الكاف قامت بتعيين من سيحتضن طبعات 2019 و2021 و2023. في سابقة ربما لا أقول خطيرة ولكنها لم تكن منصفة. هل تعتقد بأن الجزائر التي تقدمت سنة 2015 لاحتضان كان 2017 جاهزة اليوم بملاعبها لاحتضان كان 2025؟ والشان الذي ستحتضنه الجزائر بعد أشهر سيكون اختبار حقيقي لمدى جاهزية الجزائر. السؤال الثاني سيد موتسيبي، لماذا لا تعتبرون اللاعبين الذين ينشطون في مختلف البطولات الإفريقية كلاعبين محليين يمكنهم المشاركة في الشان حتى نعطي الشان مستوى آخر أكثر؟ شكرا.
Yeah, I must tell you some of the things that makes me proud is the sort of questions that you ask, but also the passion for football in this country. It's something that makes me proud, very proud, and something that I think all of us in Africa who loves football get inspiration from. I was asking my brother Jahid, the president of Algeria, I was asking him, when last did you host AFCON? When last did you host CAN? Because as I said, part of the issue is not only that we want world-class standards and quality and levels, but we also want to give other countries a chance. And when you realize that, you know, what is important for me is what ordinary people in Africa think of us and their perceptions. Do they think that we are fair? And that's why the issue that happened last year with Al Ahly concerning the Champions League was a serious matter to me. It was not so much, not only about the facts, but also to try and persuade and convince people that we may not agree on the end product. And I had nothing, there was nothing I could do because the decision was taken long before I became president that it was going to be a single-legged final. So we take seriously what the people in Algeria think about CAF, what the people in every one of the African countries think about us. And we have to be satisfied that at all times there's a perception of fairness, a perception of there's no preference. I can tell you there isn't a single country in Africa, not whilst I'm president, that will get favored or preference above any other country. It's not going to happen. And what is even more important is that the track record of this leadership, of this current vice presidents and presidents and CAF Exco must build a track record, even where there are different views and disagreements, where we reflect a consistent behavior of being fair and equitable and just and treat everybody equally. Next question.
Sarah, and then Nazim, and then the last question will go this way. Because we've got 3 more questions, but then we have to go. Sarah, Nazim. Sarah first. Sarah?
No, proceed. Just for now, even if you are not Sarah, just be Sarah. I like Hannah. Sarah is wonderful. Hannah is equally wonderful. Yeah.
My question is: we have all seen that Algeria has succeeded in organizing the Mediterranean Games.
So they've succeeded in organizing.
Yes.
Yeah. Which games?
Mediterranean Games.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And do you think that it will be the same for the Shan 2023?
Well, I can tell you, I'm not just optimistic, but I'm confident. My brother took me around to show me the infrastructure, and for me also, I like the passion that he shows and the commitment. I had a meeting with the head of state of Algeria. You leave that meeting feeling, here is a president who loves football. Here is a president who's committed to football. And that's very, very important, because it means that my job and the job of CAF, of making the CHAN next year the very best CHAN. We want to make the CHAN next year the very best CHAN. So I'm optimistic, because the infrastructure, I visited the stadiums, I saw the stadiums, and also, I was saying to him, Algeria should be in Qatar. There are a few other countries that I think should be in Qatar. Nigeria should be in Qatar. And I'm very proud of those 5, and that's why I'm happy that they've increased the number of African countries. But we are proud of Tunisia, we are proud of Morocco, we are proud of Senegal, we are proud of Cameroon, and we are proud of Ghana. And so he was saying to me, President, when the next World Cup comes, we're going to be there. So I'm happy to hear you say that.
Okay, Nazim, the second last question, and then the last question will be at the back, and then President, because it's been a long day. Nazim, please.
Okay. Bonjour, Président, et bienvenue à vous et au membre du comité exécutif. Nazim Bessol, Bordola. On assistera dans quelques heures au tirage au sort du CHAN, qui aura lieu dans un peu moins de 3 mois. Vos équipes sont là depuis pratiquement une semaine, 10 jours. Quels sont les retours que vous avez par rapport à ce qu'ils constatent ici sur le terrain comme avancé? Et quand est-ce que vous pensez pouvoir finaliser et signer le contrat cadre entre la CAF et le pays hôte? Merci.
Okay. I want to repeat, we should never accept average or mediocre performance, either from CAF, the president of CAF, football in Africa. We should always express our views of disapproval, including express our views of criticism. And this is one of the cultures that I want to instill, not just whilst I'm president of CAF, but also in future when I'm not president of CAF, that the leadership of CAF understands that at all times we are accountable. Of course, we've got to be transparent, but very importantly, we've got to be ethical, and we have to make sure that the competitions that we run as CAF and our management is world-class. So, I mean, just in relation to your question, the agreement, it's a formality.
Before the end
will be signed before the end of the month. And I'm so proud, my brother Saido, who's the chairman of the Chan organizing committee, really, I think he must have lived in Algeria in his previous life. He loves Algeria. He spent a lot of time here with Magogo, the president of football from Uganda. And I repeat, in the meeting of EXCO, I said to my president of football from Algeria that I'm confident that we're going to have a successful Chan in January, and I would like to see him, and I'd like to see Algeria bid for AFCON, and I know with all of these other countries that are bidding, and I think that the infrastructure and the facilities are here, are world-class, and I'm confident that when the EXCO and the committees apply their mind and they see and compare where it should go, it will indeed go to the country that EXCO is satisfied based on the recommendations from the assessment or independent committee that that country is the best country. Okay, two more.
Last question,
last,
from the back.
Last question,
yes,
plus one. Yes. Okay.
Salam alaikum.
We will give you a chance as well. Yes. Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Bienvenue tout le monde. Bienvenue président. Parlons de notre fête. L'actualité, c'est bien la CHAN. Ce sera en Algérie. Est-ce qu'il y a une stratégie ou bien une vision de la part de la CAF pour booster ou bien améliorer ou bien donner une autre dimension pour la CHAN? Il y a tout dans cette compétition, les talents, les stades, le public, mais par rapport, on a vu par exemple la première édition de la Coupe arabe FIFA Qatar 2021, on a vu vraiment une fête, si on peut dire. Quelle est la stratégie ou bien la vision de la CAF pour donner une autre dimension pour la CHAN? Mohamed Chourafin.
Salam alaikum. I was here 2 months ago? Yeah. 2 months ago. And this important question you asked was asked over and over again. And what I want to say is that I was talking about we as Africans. I said it in Cameroon, and I said it in Rabat, in Morocco, and I said it in Egypt, and I'm saying it here as well. We have to have more confidence in ourselves. We have to believe that this country, with the other countries in Africa, have the capacity. I mean, Algeria has proven itself over and over again, and the same applies to Egypt, to Senegal, to Morocco, to Ghana, to Nigeria, and many, many other countries. So we must have a sense of positive confidence. And of course, where there are weaknesses and failures, we must identify them and mix them and fix them. But not have this persistent skepticism and this lack of self-belief and a perception that we will somehow fail. And the question you asked is very, very important, and that's why I need to respond with this degree of confidence and optimism that I've seen during my last visit, and that I've seen in many other countries in Africa.
Non, par exemple, faciliter la tâche pour les supporters pour se déplacer.
Sorry. Go back. No. Sorry. No, give it to him. Give it to him.
Par exemple, pour faciliter la tâche pour les supporters pour se déplacer dans la chambre, la diffuser dans les 5 continents du monde, par exemple des trucs comme ça pour avoir une autre dimension pour cette compétition.
Very good question. Very, very good question. I mean, I was in Guinea this morning, yesterday morning, and in fact I was in South Africa Thursday night, had a meeting until very late. Arrived in Guinea in the morning and had meetings and was here at night. And some of the people in Cairo who are supposed to come here, they've got to go to Europe and have to go to other countries. So the whole issue of the flights, the tickets, the transportation. It's a very important point. And we were talking to Air Ethiopia, but this airline of this country is a very good airline. And one of the issues, there's this thing called the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And one of the insistence, I mean, Africa can make tens of billions of dollars in tourism if we improve our airline industry. I mean, to go from Algeria to, I don't even want to talk about the south, but I would hope and I would imagine that it's easier to travel in the north. Of course, your airline is a world-class airline. But very important question, because in my meetings with the African heads of state, we emphasize invest in the airline industry and it will generate income for your countries. So you will be going to Qatar, and I know Qatar is doing excellent work, excellent. And I'm also aware that there are some exciting initiatives that involves Qatar, and the other airlines are also doing good to try and facilitate and significantly make sure that those who are going to the World Cup, but also post-World Cup, the Qatar Airlines is doing an excellent job.
Mustafa, you have the last question. The last question, Mustafa.
Confrères, consoeurs, messieurs et madame les membres de l'exécutif de la CAF, monsieur le président de la CAF, monsieur le président de la Fédération algérienne de football, bonjour. Merci président de m'avoir permis de vous poser une question. Je me présente monsieur Mazouzi Mustafa, journaliste indépendant. Donc ma question est relative à un événement planétaire. Nous sommes à quelques semaines du coup d'envoi de la Coupe du Monde au Qatar. Monsieur le Président, pensez-vous réellement que l'Afrique a une chance de figurer au moins dans le carré final? Et une question hors contexte. J'ai constaté en tant que journaliste que la CAF ne parraine pas beaucoup les jubilés de nos stars africaines. Il y en a beaucoup. Ne pensez-vous pas qu'il faille briser un tabou et de parrainer les jubilés, par exemple, des stars, et en parallèle financer des campagnes anti-famine en Afrique, d'autant plus que la CAF est devenue un empire financier. Merci beaucoup.
Sorry, he said CAF has become the financial hub. What does it mean, financial hub? Empire. CAF has got no money. Compare CAF with Europe. Compare CAF with the others. So, you know, remember Zizou, and go and look at Manchester City, go and look at Europe. Mbappe. I keep telling my brother from Cameroon, he says Mbappe is Cameroon. I said yes, but half is Algeria. So that combination makes him very, very, very special. Part of what we are doing is to lay the foundation for the future and lay a solid foundation. We may not see the 100% or 90% of the results that we would like to, but what we are confident is that foundation, schools football, competitions that are world-class, stadiums that are comfortable, football pitches that are world-class, TV broadcasting that is world-class, CAF, member associations, that's ethical, governance, all of those things will lay a foundation to make sure that African football is world-class. And what I like is, you see, those other African nations from the south, they benefit from the experiences of the African nations in the center, and they also benefit from the African nations in the north, just like the African nations in the north benefit from the center and the south. So what my heart tells me is, oof, we will have a big party if one of the African nations goes to the semifinals. What the facts tells me is it's going to be tough. But what I do know, what I've got no doubt, is if we continue to invest in our youth, in our clubs, in the infrastructure, the youth academies. Speak to our sponsors to get more money from the sponsors. The African Super League, I can tell you, is going to keep some of the best players in Africa because they will be getting more money. I mean, you know, the club that my family owns were the champions of Africa in 2016. And they were the champions of Africa because we knew how much it was paid in Europe, and the players want money. It's correct. Football is a short life. I always tell them, make as much money as you possibly can, take some of that money, save it, but go where you will get the highest amount of money. What we will succeed to do in Africa, because we know how much they pay the players in Sweden, how much they pay in Copenhagen, in Denmark, how much they pay, including Belgium, how much they pay in other parts of Europe. I can tell you, we will succeed to keep some of the best players of Algeria, of Africa, in Africa. And because they will look at the money and say, you know what, why must I go away? It's so cold up there. The weather in Algeria is beautiful. And my family is here, the food is better, beautiful country. Why must I leave Africa and go and play in other parts of the world when I can get the same amount of money or even more right here at home? So I want to conclude by thanking all of you for being here. And let me say, you make us proud. The media that asks questions, that is passionate, that criticizes, but also encourages when the good things happen, is what keeps all of us on our toes and makes us strive to even perform better. And I want to conclude once more by thanking my vice presidents and thanking our general secretary, thanking my brother Zaid, and thanking the people of Algeria, and say that we will meet, I'll see many of you in Qatar, and equally exciting, I'll see many of you here in Chan. And my final word, when Chan is finished, at the end of Chan, all of us will make an assessment. We will make an evaluation. And it will not only be what I say, it will also be, but President, we were there with you. These are our views. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President.
مشاهدينا، كانت هذه الندوة الصحفية لرئيس الاتحاد الإفريقي لكرة القدم باتريس